Aloha, everybody. We, the unwilling, who have been led by the unqualified, have been doing the unbelievable with so little cooperation and so much turmoil. We now have to do the impossible with POTUS and the Union, USA. USA. You know, I was told a long time ago, I mean a long time ago, I got to take off these because you know my notes are really important to me so that I don't misquote or have you miss the point. Someone said long ago, and it isn't a quote because I not really understand who it was that said it. You know what I mean? Hate, it has caused a lot of problems in a world, but has not solved one yet. And that's what? Well, I don't care. It's my dog. Okay. She's dying. She might die right on this camera show. I don't care. But my glasses are clear. What is it? Okay. I guess I'm just going to read this because these are the things that I want people to know about me and about black people. Although I was told back when I was going to school, high school, that I wasn't black enough. And what does it mean to be black enough? Well, I found out because she is my dog. Her name is Lucky, and she likes to cough a lot. Winston Churchill said, and I'm kind of directing this at Bernie, okay? There are only two places where socialism will work. Is heaven, where it is not needed, and in hell, where it already have it. Make sense? I'll say it again. There are only two places where socialism will work, is in heaven, where it is not needed, and in hell, they already have it. Americans are a people being looted of their freedom, of their money, of their future. I think so. And I want to say something to all this stuff. You know, POTUS, you wonder why the hate's so great. I'll tell you. You got people in this country that is saying that they are going to another country to put us down. Okay? And I don't understand, but I do. There is a place called, and people called, the Defamation League. Okay? That's where you call somebody out of their name. All right? And it's like calling Jewish people cockroaches. You see what I'm saying? And that's not true. But somebody is spewing this kind of language. Then they're allowed to go to Iran, hold up a big sign, and say, "Death to America, death to America." And they're over in Iran, okay? And then USA lets them get away and come back here. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Because if it had happened in my time or my parents' time, they'd have never got in. And if they did, they'd be carried off in shackles. That is the most seditious language. That is the most salacious language that you could say. Death to America. I don't know why Louis Farrakhan would say something like that. Well, wait a minute, I do know. But the other thing I want you to know is we've been for a long time up to our POTUS, have been doing the unbelievable for so long. We're so happy now to promote and vote for a man who knows what he's doing. And if left to and people cooperated with him, we would be doing amazing. Except that the deep state and the deeper state will not allow it to happen until we bust them down and they have nothing else to do but save their own lives, so they will have to cooperate or go up in smoke with us. The truth is a dangerous explosive. Watch out. Watch out. And I want everybody to know, as we go through all this crap with the Democrats, okay, that remember and remember, remember, people cannot, and I know they won't be able to, tell a lie the same way twice. So that's what's really good in America right now. We have the kind of technology. Before, we used to have to use the congressional record, and everything was put down. I know you wonder where I'm going with this, but I'm trying to get you to understand what Bernie, I mean, it'd be better to have 4 more years. 4 more years. This is my 4 more years. Okay. Because Winston Churchill said, socialism is the philosophy of failure and the creed of ignorance and the gospel of envy. Its inherent virtue is equal sharing of misery. That's what he said. He wasn't for this socialism. He was a very, very smart man. You know, I mean, he was. But now, nobody remembers what he said. So you have to have people like me who have read Wisdom of War to tell you what he said, and what he said a long time ago, and what we're living through, or they want to take us through, is now. And then they want to take that now, and they want it to be a future. A future. And all I can see unless we stop them, unless they are threatened to go up in smoke with us. But I want to tell everybody, you can't do anything else. You can't chase horses in midstream. No. We need this man until other people start being like this man on both sides of the party. Then we might even get to the mindset that we don't need 2 or 3 or 4 parties. All we need is one union, and to call out people like Maxine Waters, Louis Farrakhan, Obama, and even his mama. If you go back and do your homework, it ain't about where he was born. It's about where he grew up, and what his grandmother and grandfather were, and what he is today. And if I was to say anything, he did a good job. He did a number on America. They did a number on you. Oh, you all walking around like he's the best thing since white bread or sliced bread. I want to tell you something. And you won't believe me. You'll say this is fake something. And you don't want to believe me when you know that this man is a CIA agent. And he's been that way since 1981. And doesn't it feel like he has to be an agent of somebody? Because look how it all is turning out. And the reason it's turning out is because that man was about something that was not about us. You know, not about the U.S. So y'all did a number, but not me. If you go back and look in history, 2007, on the night that he was elected, you'll hear what I said about the man and about what was coming and how it would all end up. And I'll tell you something. I'm calling out Obama. I'm calling out Rothschild. I'm calling out Cheney. I'm calling out Jonas. I'm calling out all of you who think that you are going to get away with what you're doing over in the Middle East and what you're doing over in Colorado and what you've been doing all over the world. We now got you because you're so proud of what you're doing. And I am so proud to tell you that I've been watching. I have not taken my eyes off. And that I'm so glad people like Candace Owens and people like Diamond and Silk and other people who are now understanding this isn't really about Democrat or Republican. And that's what the Democrats are so scared of. Because in droves, we're saying, until you get your act together, we have to go for this man, and we have to hope that he's going to train and bring along a leader with him so that when they take over, everybody already be happy. So the only thing you'll be doing is keeping up with the protocol. Now, these are the things that all these people like Maxine and Jesse Jackson, and what really matters to me is that you all know that President Trump helped Jesse Jackson back in the 80s with his rainbow. But you can't have a rainbow without the sun. And this is the most important part of the whole thing. POTUS is the light. POTUS has always been what we wanted. But the only thing that you didn't want was a white man. You see, even for the other ones, they didn't want, they didn't want Trump. And I know why. Because when you got him in there, he started doing the work that needed to be done. So you had to go all over the world to say, you know what? I'll give you this if you just bash this man in the head. But they couldn't. They couldn't call themselves out. They couldn't reveal themselves. I'm all right with the game having been going on for thousands of years. I'll give you that. But at this point, we're too smart. We're too connected to let that kind of stuff go along. And if you want to give up the world to these ignorant, because hurt people, and that's what's going on now. All over the world. All over the world. Somebody explain to me how Bush... I'm not against the Republican Party. I stand with my POTUS right here. And I'm hoping one day to meet him. And I'm going to conclude this rant. And I'm going to get my act together. But I want you to know something. A long time ago, I wrote a song. With someone else, I guess I could say. But I wrote a song. And to this day, I still sing it. And I never knew who I was going to sing it to or who I was going to sing it for. But, in 92, I ran for president, like fantasy-wise and whatever. And my party was the Turtle Party, the United Resolution to Love Earth Party. And we've come a long way. And we now have a man in office that could take us to some of that relax. Everybody's working together. Everybody's taking all their schooling and everything. And people are starting to learn that nobody's going to give you something for nothing. You got to join and you got to work. And nobody owes you a living. And nobody has to give up their money because they're gonna give it. They don't have to give it up. They're going to give it. That's it. They're going to do this. Unless they're raising their children to be just like them. And if they don't know, well, I'm here to tell you. Start with the men who are trying to mess up our party. And we are having a good time. And the Democrats have taken all the fun out of politics. This is what I want you to know. And politics is the science, political science, science of citizenship. The reason why the Democrats are able to convince everybody what it's doing is because they look at them and they look at them and they ask them to get into this politics, which is the science of citizenship. And all of everybody that don't like my POTUS, they've never thought about being a citizen of the United States of America and to represent us all over the world as our president is doing, and having all of these people working against it lost their minds to where they're blaming him for the coronavirus because he didn't move too fast, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Where does the responsibility really lie? Well, in the next episode of Mission Possible, we'll start talking about these people. They can't stop me. Then I'll take you to their New York Stock Exchange, and I'll tell you who's doing good and who's doing, like people like Rupert Murdoch, people like Howard Jonas. Let me see if I can bring up a couple others. Dick Cheney, Larry Summers. There's only one woman. And when you put them all together in one room, boy, you got a conspiracy. Not a theory, but a conspiracy. And I hope to set you all straight, and I hope that you might go and do your homework and find out that I am telling you the truth. And what's been going on, and how Iran and Iraq 1,000 years ago, was just living great, had a great civilization. The civilization went all over the world, or at least as far as they could go, and they have consciousness, and then here we come, and we try to tell them the most important thing you can do is this oil. Oil means energy. Energy means money, and it means bondage. And I'll explain that to you in further episodes. Who's my mentor? Dangerous George Williams. Yeah. And I am R.J. Hampton. And I am going to sing you the song that is very apropos today. And I sing it with all my heart to my POTUS. And Diamond and Silk and Candace Owen, all of the people that don't care that they was not black enough, or brown enough, or whatever enough. They join in with everybody who has enough sense to know that if we're going to survive, we cannot make up the decision to die. Okay? If we're going to survive, we cannot die. And so I think that other people feel that way too. Even some leaders of some of the countries that we're not having so much, they really playing with us, And some of them deserve to because we played with them. So, here's my song. It's called American. Little old lady with dirt on her face, lying on the concrete, sharing a space with a mugger and a hustler and a pimp or two. Don't laugh, 'cause it could be you. A man on the job for a number of years, finally falling victim to what everyone fears. Handed down a pink slip, told he was through. Don't laugh, 'cause it could be you. America, that dream that we painted the streets, paved with gold and all, but faded. But if we stick together, if we just give a damn, we'll make America America. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah, ooh, 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 ba, ba, ba. A child on his own as a latchkey kid has to live a life like his mom never did. Cornflakes for dinner, a hole in his shoe. Don't laugh, 'cause it could be you. A woman in her 40s survives a divorce, wants to learn a trade but can't afford the course. Her rent needs paying and utilities too. Let's see what this looks like, because I made so many mistakes, it's ridiculous. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Boy, I was going there for a while, but I have to get into the swing so I can release enough energy so they can go check it out and then come back.